Okay, so we're officially halfway through South by Southwest '09 at the minute. Andrew Ferris from Small Town America and
Tiernan from Alternative Ulster.
And Ross Graham from NIMIC.
And I think, whenever you get halfway through, the head drops a wee bit. We've all been out seeing lots of bands, trying to network, trying to meet new people. But I think the thing that comes home mostly about South by Southwest to me this year is how much more international it was even compared to last year. When we were out at seeing bands, we went from Australia to a band from Bergen to a band from Ireland, and there seems to be a lot more international delegates this year. What do you reckon?
Well, as opposed to what predominantly being American bands? Yeah, maybe. Could be right. There was a Brazilian in the mix as well too. It's quite fair.
I forgot about that. I mean, a bit of good news yesterday in that from our NIMIC showcase, Fighting with Wire, we were able to lock down a sponsorship and merchandising deal with Fender guitars and amplifiers. So we've got that in the bag now, and it's good to be able to attribute that to actually one showcase. And I think it was also good that the British showcase had actually the best sounding stage of all the stages that we attended, throughout the last 3 days.
Yeah, I think the production on that was when you're talking about previous years. Previous years when we've done showcases here, we've always used local Austin production companies, and one way or another this year we used a UK one, and it's just so much. Well, one, the kit's better. Two, who you're working with, and the sound was extraordinary. I mean, Fighting with Wire were just explosive as the headline act. But even the day before when we were doing the acoustic stuff, it was just big, full sound. So we had a full room with whatever the hell it was, 250, 300 people, and then there were open windows out into the street, and there was another audience outside looking in the window, and they were still getting a good sound, so yeah.
I think that especially '08, when we were talking yesterday, we were just getting our chops up, and you kind of need to do South by Southwest once to be able to do it properly.
Yeah, it's a totally different atmosphere and different vibe this year. You've got your bearings about where everything is and what you have to do and what you have to achieve, and yeah, it's definitely a lot more manageable this year.
There's also a pace of South by Southwest. I remember when I came out first time, I was nervous, maybe trying to do too much in too short a space of time, but it's not really like that, is it? It's not the way to do business here.
It's not. If you pressurize yourself, you'll muck it up. I mean, the bottom line is, everybody's here. I think if you lock in across 4 days, maybe lock yourself 2 key things to do each day, you'll find yourself doing 6 other things, a couple of which might be more important than the key things, but don't pressurize yourself and try and pace it a little bit. There's no point in being up till 3 in the morning and then not getting up till 3 in the afternoon. Just keep it going.
Yeah, there's merit in pretty much every meeting. I was talking to Richard earlier, and he was doing some speed networking with Canadian people, and Jenny, who was at Indie Village for most of today. And, Jenny said to me from Bruised Fruit, she said, even though I'm not actually getting any business done, I'm meeting people who in the future might be able to help me out down the line somewhere. And it's just a matter of aggregating those contacts, isn't it, and keeping taps on them.
Yeah, I mean, it's different for us. I mean, obviously, a lot of our business out here is doing the coverage itself. It isn't reliant too much on contacts. But it's funny how, through chance meetings, even like last year, meeting from Cargo, your friend from Cargo, you do get these chance encounters and these introductions that you wouldn't get anywhere else.
And actually, meeting people in a social environment, like at a show, where people are a bit more relaxed and the weather's nicer, it's easier to speak to people. Like yesterday, I spoke to the owner of Backstreet Merchandising in New York. You don't get to have meetings with that with the gloves off anywhere else, really, apart from somewhere like South by Southwest.
Sure, and where we are at the minute, where we're sitting, this isn't a rock festival situation. We're sitting in what is, would you believe, the trade fair part of South by, which is, it's an integral part of it. One, it's air conditioned, so it ain't 86 degrees. But this is the British Music at South by Southwest stand, which is, all of the countries from the UK and the labels. I think we're holding our own amongst it. This album here is, what have we got?
Good plug, Roth.
Yeah, I think we got some like 14 of all the bands who are playing here, all the acoustic artists playing here, and 3 or 4 of the businesses have IP on here as well. So I think we knocked together 3,000 of those, and there's about 1,500 of them out to the 10,000 delegates. So,
And also, a lot of business gets done between the Northern Irish businesses, you know, who'll just by osmosis, sitting around a table, talking about things that we're going to do when we get back home. You know, and it sounds strange that you have to come to Texas to do that, but often again, with the gloves off and a more candid environment, you can sort of work in different territories a lot easier. I know that I've got a couple of things on the boil that I have to do as soon as I get home. But anyway, we're halfway through now. Johnny, top tips for the rest of the weekend? What are you looking forward to doing and seeing?
Bands. I'm all about the music. Looking forward to seeing the bands. Looking forward to seeing Fight with Wire a few more times. Want to see how, because most of the showcases we've seen so far have been during the day, and it's very much a different atmosphere. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they work in a packed room at a label showcase. Because when we were out here last year, and we were at their label showcase, and Fight with Wire weren't here, and it was like I really would love to see this band out here. They would tear the place apart. The performances so far have been so flawless and so on point. I want to see how this goes down with a big fresh audience of people who are out there for that kind of music. And then apart from that, I mean, there's so many bands playing here. There's so much stuff to see. It's kind of just take it as it comes.
And what about you, Ross? Is there anything that you actually really need to want to close out over the next few days?
Well, I've had one meeting, funnily enough, with the Japanese while I've been here, which will be followed up again later on today. And it's about
the big market.
And Northern Ireland hasn't yet, haven't formally had a go at Japan yet. So I've been talking with a couple of companies from out there, and also with UK Trade and Investment from Tokyo, and we're looking at doing something out there, maybe August, and maybe something else in November. So that's quite exciting. I
think with the new suite of sort of younger bands coming through Northern Ireland, that Japan is a really big marketplace, and Australasia as well.
Yeah, I mean, even in the past, bands like 3MC have done pretty well out in Japan. They've had good sales out there and done good tours, packed venues in Japan. And other bands like Consortium from afar, I think they've got a sign which they'll hit home with the Japanese. I believe their album's out there already as well. And I think, there's definitely openings there and definitely
Yeah, actually got the sales figures through from that, and healthy sales figures on the And So I Watch You From Afar album. So already we're actually talking about South by Southwest 10. 2010. I mean, this is really becoming part of our calendar.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think it's important to see, we're as NIMIC, we're looking at it, you as companies and artists and local media are looking at it, but I got a name check Belfast City Council, who supported this year's whole trip for the artists and the businesses, and also last year's, but they're brave enough to have dipped into this for 3 years, so 2010 is definitely happening. And I don't think it's daft to be looking a year before. Let's get it right, let's make it good, and let's make it hot.
And when you have that in your calendar, that 11 months of preparation is crucial, because you can be building relationships all the way along there and say, well, I'll see you in Texas.
Yeah, it's kind of funny as well. It's like we deal with so many UK record labels and PR companies who are based in London, but we're in Belfast, so we never really get to meet them or get out there and see them. It's funny how many of those people you can see in a much shorter space of time in Texas and then you meet up with. It is funny, like you say, you got to come to Texas to meet these people, but it does seem to be they're all in the same place at the same time, and it makes life a lot easier.
So hot weather and a hot house of potential connections, really?
Totally. All good.
Thanks very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.